Well, good morning. I forgot. I need to put myself in front of the picture because it reflects. I got a fill light, but I still got reflections. But what are you going to do? So I've been threatening this for a while that I was going to share my favorite translations, or just plain and simple the translations that I use. Um, I chose 3 examples. I could give quite a bit more now that I'm thinking about it. That's why I hesitated. I'm like, oh, well, I was going to say 2, but there's actually a third, but we'll see if we get to it. But the information is pretty much universal. What I mention or share about my favorite Bhagavad Gita translation applies to every translation, almost any book. So, long story short, I've said this before. I've studied the Bhagavad Gita for decades. I'm currently in a class with a highly respected acharya and professor of Vedanta, of Kashmiri Trika Shaivism. And so this whole idea, he's actually teaching from Abhinava Gupta. He's teaching from a specific translation that I'm not going to mention. It's, I believe, much more common because of the language it was originally written in. I'm going to be discussing English, as you can tell. English, my first language, my favorite language, because I find it the easiest. My vocabulary is the widest. I do speak French. I have a limited vocabulary, and I think in French when I speak and when I dream, but it's not as rich. So I find myself, lacking. See, what you got to understand is truly we think visually, but as Emerson said, how you express that to others is not a measure of the quality of your experience, but a measure of the quality of your ability to express it. So words are important, not in and of themselves as much as it's the only tool we have to make our inner life manifest in everyday life, or even to share it with others. And I can't remember who said it, but it's important for us to read books, both fiction and nonfiction, because you can't live 1,000 lifetimes, but you can vicariously through books and stories, using other people's ideas, to ideate with, right? To create or to riff upon. But so today I'm just going to mention about translation. The reason why I mention it is I've seen some discussion on 2 other examples of translations, and one's a bit of a tongue-in-cheek translation. In Search of Lost Time by Marcel Proust. In French, it would be La Recherche du Temps Perdu by Marcel Proust. And the reason why it's funny is, well, first of all, La Recherche is not just a search, but it's also research, right? It's a borrowed word in English, but it has to do with coming to understand as well. Like I've said, science is still well understood in the German. It's Wissenschaft. So to come to understand something. So this is what we do here. Yeah.